What's up guys, it's Tommy here and welcome to a brilliant video with a major update to the Ruben Amorim to Liverpool situation, because Barcelona, according to Miguel Delaney, who's a chief football writer at the Independent newspaper, Barcelona are in a race with Liverpool to secure Ruben Amorim, and he of course is now the favorite, the #1 pick from Liverpool to replace Jurgen Klopp at the end of the season. But Xavi, the legendary player who is now the Barcelona manager, is departing Barcelona at the end of the season, and Barcelona are racing to try and secure the appointment of Ruben Amorim, and he has now become the top choice for a number of clubs. Thankfully it looks like Bayern Munich are going for Julian Nagelsmann, and I think actually Ruben Amorim would be a better manager for Liverpool than Xabi Alonso, because learning about the profile of Ruben Amorim, his style of football is much more similar to Jurgen Klopp's style of football than Xabi Alonso's style of football. Xabi Alonso's style is a much more controlled, much more methodical and a much more possession-based style of football, which is more similar to Pep Guardiola. Of course, you can't really, say that they are identical, but they have similarities. And of course, Jurgen Klopp never coached Xabi Alonso, but Xabi Alonso was coached by Jose Mourinho, Pep Guardiola and other managers. And Ruben Amorim's style is a lot more direct. The way they played against Benfica away from home in the Portuguese Cup semi-final second leg was absolutely brilliant. I watched the highlights this morning, and Sporting were leading twice, ended up drawing 2-2, and that was enough for Sporting to qualify for the cup final after they won the first leg 2-1. So Sporting are now leading the Portuguese league, and they are in the Portuguese cup final, and they have a chance to compete and to complete and win the domestic double. And Ruben Amorim said after the game, when he was asked about his future, he said, "We will see." So he didn't rule out any move for the summer. He didn't rule out leaving Sporting and becoming the Liverpool manager. There are of course a lot of other managers mentioned, but Simone Inzaghi, the Inter manager, he has a language barrier. He doesn't seem to speak very good English, which is a big problem. Ruben Amorim has very good English, and Roberto De Zerbi is also not really good in his English speaking. And what is also very impressive about Ruben Amorim is that Sporting, his team, have conceded the lowest expected goals in the Portuguese league 3 times of Ruben Amorim's last 4 seasons at the club. He has built a very solid defensive structure. Basically they have the best defense 3 out of the past 4 seasons. He likes to play a high line, similar to Jurgen Klopp. Of course his pressing game is not as intense as Liverpool's pressing game at the moment, but very few clubs press as intensely as Jurgen Klopp's teams do. But what is the most important is that Ruben Amorim is a very, very impressive young coach, and FSG are already making some very good appointments. Pedro Marques has been appointed in this new FSG setup, very close to being confirmed that the Benfica technical director, he will be appointed into a key role in this FSG setup. That's what David Ornstein is reporting, and the Benfica technical director could be another recruit by Liverpool owners. And after Michael Edwards was appointed CEO of football, he's a 41-year-old technical director who has a very strong reputation, and he has a lot of great connections. It makes sense why Edwards said acquiring the second club was the biggest factor in him coming back, because the FSG's ambitious plan looks really, really amazing at the moment. Benfica's Pedro Marques, as Ornstein reported, is being targeted, is absolutely brilliant. The focus is on scouting youth players, character development, opportunity. Benfica's of course one of the best academies on the planet, and he has been in charge of the Benfica academy since 2018, so the past 6 years, and you can see how many amazing, brilliant players have come through the Benfica Youth Academy, and how many young, brilliant players that they identified. Of course, we signed Darwin Núñez from Benfica as well. And interestingly, Marquez was also a first-team performance analyst. He had a position like that at Manchester City when Julian Ward, the former Liverpool sporting director, was a scout at Man City. Marquez later switched to a coaching and analysis lead position at a City Football Group, the multi-club model that Man City are running, and maybe FSG will ask him about that when they are trying to buy another football club. And Marquez spent 6 years working at Sporting Lisbon, working across coaching, performance analysis and recruitment before joining City Group and Man City in 2010. And after 8 years he returned to Portugal as Benfica's youth technical director, so he has vast experience in the scouting and development department of developing and identifying young brilliant players. And some people are already arguing that Ruben Amorim is a safer bet than Xabi Alonso because you have a much wider data set to base your analysis on. Xabi Alonso only has 1.5 seasons at Bayer Leverkusen. Ruben Amorim has a lot more seasons to judge him on. This is his 5th season already at in Portuguese top flight football. And before Ruben Amorim became Sporting manager, 6 years before his appointment, Sporting have only finished in the top 2 once. So this was a Portuguese league dominated by Benfica and Porto. They were the 2 teams winning the title each season, either of them. And Amorim turned it into a 3-team league. And that is not an easy achievement when you are a Sporting manager, because they don't have the same financial power as Benfica or Porto. And their spending is tied very closely to selling some of their top young players. So he's losing key players every summer. He's having to tweak his system to adapt to new faces, all while keeping them extremely competitive, the Sporting team. And Sporting won 6 times possession in the final third. They have an average possession of 58.6%. Expected goals is 2.2 per game, which is absolutely amazing if you think about it. He is averaging 2.2 XG per game. He has 35 touches in the opposition box per 90 minutes, and also Sporting are creating 3.64 big chances per 90 minutes. So his stats are very identical to Xabi Alonso's Leverkusen stats. In the 6 seasons before Amorim became Sporting manager, Sporting averaged 74 points in the league, and since then the Sporting have averaged 82 points across the 3 league campaigns that he has finished, and they are currently on course for an 89-point season. So this is his best ever season at Sporting. To say that he has improved Sporting is an understatement. He changed them massively. And if you list the players that he lost during his time, it's even more impressive. He lost Nuno Mendes, João Palhinha, Matheus Nunes, Manuel Ugarte, Pedro Porro. 2 of them play for Paris Saint-Germain. Matheus Nunes plays for Man City, Porro plays for Tottenham, João Palhinha plays for Fulham, but he could also play for Bayern Munich. It was very, very close. He also has given debuts and opportunities to Gonçalo Inácio, Mendes, Nunes, Pedro Gonçalves, Porro, Ugarte, Diomande, Palhinha, Martin Humeland. The point of this is he's used to working with what he's given, and this is what would likely happen to him at Anfield. And with the new recruitment team taking shape, they would identify what was needed and look to bring in the best players that fit that system. And of course it would be up to Ruben Amorim to get the best out of these young players. So you have a manager who works with youth players and who knows how to bed players into his system while still making changes to make their transition into the starting 11 a little more seamless. You have a manager who has experience. He has experienced success and disappointment. He has been able to learn from his failures and he has improved as a result. So these are all boxes that you need to be ticked when you become a manager at Liverpool. So let's see whether Liverpool appoint him or not, but I think this all shows it's a very, very promising era coming to Liverpool from next season. So with Pedro Marques joining from Benfica, he will use his expertise to attract global talent, and with his background at Benfica, probably Liverpool we'll look to sign talents from South America. It seems like that is the plan going forward at Liverpool, and we could buy a South American club and use that club to actually, you know, bring those South American talented players there, play them in a very familiar environment, and the ones who are good enough to make the next step into European football, we could sign them at Liverpool. So I think that's a very good idea for FSG going forward. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and thanks for watching. Have a nice day. See you later, guys. Goodbye.